All right, folks, the campaign continues, and we'll do a quick overview for those who are maybe just joining us or rejoining us after a while. This is where the campaign stands here in fairly early 1862. It's going. I mean, we're playing as a union. I don't see this one as one where I'm going to switch sides to the CSA. This is kind of a test run of this yet another new campaign I've modded together. It's regimental, and yet it's the full campaign. It's also the Empire of Oppression, which is an enlarged CSA at the start of the war. And it's, larger population, larger territory, larger economy, all that other thing. So that should increase the difficulty on my end as the Union. I've modded both the Union and the CSA AIs to play about as well as I think they can, at least eliminating a lot of the inefficiencies. Maybe it's not the most optimal, but I think it's far better than vanilla, and I've geared them both towards taking the better policies. Anyways, we're doing fairly well. I mean, my view is still, go for Richmond and go for Nashville. And, we've actually taken Nashville. We took Richmond in 1861, but we weren't able to hold it against a desperate counter attack, I think just before we turned the calendar to 1862. So anyways, we're back here. Now, we had a big old battle on the Fredericksburg map. We've been getting a lot of Fredericksburg maps, much better than Chancellorsville. So I was very happy with that. But that gave us a couple of beat up divisions here, just north of Richmond. But McClellan has finally moved. He's done a lot of moving, but not that much fighting. Pause me if you've heard that one before. I'm sure it's unfair. But anyways, I think McClellan's Second Corps might be able to go in and clear out Richmond. I don't know if this division of the Potomac is actually real. So, I could yak. I mean, it's kind of what I do here. I guess things would move faster if I hit play, right? Nah, we'll see. But, so actually the above stuff I gave you may not have read correctly if we weren't actually playing, because sometimes in Grand Tactician, it needs a few minutes to warm up. And, needs a couple of days or weeks or months to pass in-game before the facts and figures it relays to you are more correct. In the center, we have a choice. We have a corps holding Nashville. Now, Weiss's division may actually end up addressing this for us. Okay, we don't want you to be in scouting because we want you to be able to reinforce as quickly as possible. In the third division here, if I can get away from the little clock of your friend, there we go. Can actually be here in time. We'll move you down, and for role-playing reasons only, I'll just move the Corps HQ a little bit closer to the divisions. Maybe we'll have a fight here, because I think there's at least a Corps over here. Over here being, my goodness, why is it all overrun? Chattanooga, and there's at least one, and I think there was another one that was just northeast of Corinth, so southwest of us in Nashville. And that meant it would be two corps against one. And so the idea was to bring this corps down and to reinforce them. But we have, now Kentucky is CSA territory in this playthrough. And so I don't really want these guys running around behind me. Now granted, they've chosen the supply desert. Are you kidding? This has got to be false. This has got to be false. So I've also modded it. Wait, I'm actually losing Cairo. Well, that doesn't really change anything. That's going to be more a problem for the corps that's in Missouri or the corps I'm raising in Illinois. Looks like they could probably send the 1st Division down here. So maybe we will do just that and see if these reports are true. It looks like we could probably get a third division and probably pretty soon, because I think I've only done 2. And then out as far west as I plan to go for the time being, you can see what we have here. Yeah, this is probably not that surprising. I think maybe the plan was to take the end of the railroad juncture here, which actually isn't awful, and maybe put a supply depot on it. And then when this corps I'm raising in Illinois actually get their act together and all the rest, I think I'm going to push them out north, maybe into Kansas, and then maybe down in western Missouri, and then keep the corps that I have pretty much defending St. Louis, right? St. Louis is the real prize, and Kentucky and Tennessee are more important than western Missouri. So anyways, that is an overview of things. My inclination is to probably attack with this group. I was going to be a little too cute, and my 8th Corps, which is currently named the Army of Ohio, I thought maybe if I bypass them and reinforce Nashville, I can definitely hold Nashville. But I think the 8th Corps is going to take... Why is that so loud? Why? My goodness, that's some storm. Can I get far enough above it? I guess I can. No, well, it doesn't want to leave. I think we just attack here. There's a supply depot, so if we take it, we're just going to have to deal with that static sound, which is a storm. Well, we can move the Corps HQ up. I'm fine with all of that. Alright, and Lovell's division is the last one. But anyways, I'd rather just try to screen as much as I can the CSA out of Kentucky. Apparently they really want to get in here. Actually, I could send the Ohio Squadron up to scout this as well. And it should be able to move up here. So we'll get some more information soon. Is this actually correct? I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't think you need to be doing that. You can certainly construct a depot you would like. And maybe we'll even send Smith out in case there's anything to this. And, we'll probably send Smith out to scout after that. Yeah. I like that. I don't think on camera I'd want to raise a division. I mean, it is only raising the division. It's not equipping it, so it's not too terrible, but... Yeah, alright, so I think we can hold with Nashville, unless there's just a ton of CSA behind this. That should be okay, and... Burns, okay, your order did go through. Yeah, we'll do the best we can. We can see it's muddy roads, right? It's springtime. It's, it's all that fun stuff. This is hard to believe. Okay, you say you're out of supply, but again, that's kind of hard to believe. Ooh, good news! McDowell is ready to go, and McDowell probably has the most experienced division. Certainly in the Union Army, and quite possibly in both armies. So, we'll move them now. I believe there's a new division that got beat up a little while ago. Yeah, Kilpatrick's going to be a moment before he's ready to go back into action, but that is... that's something we've planned for. And, yeah, maybe just to take some of the pressure. I don't know what you guys are doing here. Off my forces north. We'll send in McClellan's Corps. So, I guess maybe I'd already ordered you? I don't know. Denver, sure. Yeah, I guess I had already ordered them. Alright, fine. And then Rousseau, and then McClellan. You can keep an eye on things. Alright, so I guess Cable did not have the morale. Yeah, you can see his readiness. So I've modded it so that I could move the AI if I wanted. I generally haven't, and the only time I do is when they're doing stupid things and they have cavalry down, dismounted but not in loose formation, and I'm like, come on, guys, you're better than that. Blockading squadron, amphibious attack is what I want on a number of these early on, so that we can try to carry forts that are near ports, or just that we want to carry just for the heck of it. I don't know if I need all of you. Yeah, I mean, we're doing, I guess, a fair amount of blockading there. I have no idea what the division of the Shenandoah is doing. And, again, for those who are just joining us, we've done quite a bit of work on capturing the forts we can that are near ports on the East Coast. And once we get healthy, we're going to swing around. Oh, you were also blockading while we were waiting to get healthy. That does make sense. But I think for now we're going to move around. I don't believe we're spending that much on naval upkeep. No, I mean, not even that much on the army at the moment. So, yeah, we've gotten the surplus down. So higher is less of a deficit. Basically, it's better. And both the CSA and I have improved recently. And on their end, because they're short of manpower, they may need to start a recruiting drive to match our numbers if they're gonna have a shot at holding this back, which is why this is just so hard to believe. I mean, if they're actually up here, what else are you doing? All right, we don't need Smith to be in scouting. We want to make sure they can reinforce one another. Third corps is fine there. Since Lion isn't expected to reinforce anybody, he's fine in scouting. And we should learn more about what is really happening. Because if they have these forces in all these weird places that aren't going to help them, like this. But I also haven't invested in intelligence gathering, which is probably why it's so poor. And that's how it should be. And I did it that way because I felt like I didn't really have an incentive to do it. And most of the time, I still don't invest in it because I'm like, well, if they are doing that, I know I have numbers and I might as well just keep the drive south because they'll break before I do. And that's not a winning. So they did the bank act. So, I mean, that's going to slash into their support, but it is going to help them on the economic side. So we should see their support tumble a little bit. It's almost even with national morale, but if it does dip below morale, it'll drag it down. And yeah, it's supposed to be a more difficult balancing act in the way that I've modded it. It's not supposed to be like auto takes and never takes. It's supposed to be, and if I couldn't mod it, I just modded it out and just said, all right, well then just never take it, right? So that's about the eliminating the less efficient decisions. So this makes more sense to me. This I would believe. I think those are generally under strength divisions because I fought them before. So I bet I bet they just went on a recruiting binge and then they ran out of troops. All right, where is that's Curtis and Gibbs? Oh, yeah, that's. I mean, I'll fight it because you know why trust the AI, but this should be an easy one. And what you're witnessing is one of the things I haven't in my years of trying to mod Grand Tactician. I've just never quite figured out on the campaign level, the map we were just looking at, how do you get the AI to attack together? And in some ways, I've exacerbated the problem because I've gone down to the regimental level. And so it's kind of, for most people in vanilla in the full campaign, the brigade level is the lowest level of troop you can command. But I did it because I wanted to, and in the last campaign, I actually went through the time of kind of individually numbering all of the regiments. I got to figure out, and maybe I should. I haven't emailed the devs in a while, probably a year or so, and just ask them if there's any way, because I think in Whiskey and Lemons, I thought it did automatic regimental numbering. But then again, that's made to be a regimental campaign, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. All right, so what we learned here is that this could, right, if there are, okay, we don't need that. It just pollutes our pretty map. Yeah, so there are 4 points. And they are likely to come from where? Anywhere down here? So either there or there. So I think we should look to attack. I believe we're just about all here anyways. I don't want to get too spread out. I've done that before. I've had disaster on this map. So I am going to set up off videos so you don't have to watch me dawdling. But yeah, I think we'll stick together. We'll do some scouting. Meant to do more than that, and then we'll find them and we'll go from there. I don't even feel like digging defenses because I'm just going to go on the attack. All right, so it did not take that long to find them. They're over here. The AI is always going to move faster than I think it ought to be able to. And so what we want to do, you know what? Don't even give it at that level. Give it at this level. Okay, we're going to have them come over. The artillery is currently detached. The cav can come over here. That cav can come over here. We can recall McCook. Yeah, McCook's cav. And I think we'll recall them here. All right, that's Corps Command. And oh, Village is here. That's right. I got to bring him back here. And I think we're going to order his division maybe to get over there. And again, we'll order the artillery last who's been detached. And one of my divisions, I think, just showed up. Saw some message. It says Gibbs is in contact. Oh, you got to be kidding me, dude. You have got to be kidding me. So this is how we enter. All right. So it's going to go as well as you could imagine. Yeah, desolate plans and all that. I don't really see an alternative. I mean, we're just gonna we'll do the best we can. Here, you try to deal with that, and you try to deal with that, and you start going over to deal with that. Yeah, you might have to just end up running, but I don't know what else to tell you at this point. Yeah, you really shouldn't charge, dude. Just shoot. That's your forte, buddy. Alright, well, if you're gonna go into a melee, I guess just try to mount up. Oh my goodness. Just stop. Stop. I'm pretty sure all these troops were like by one another on the map. So who knows how they came up with this, but here, you guys deal with that. My cav broke, of course. You don't need your scouts, although I guess we can start pushing that cav over there. That should be fine. Yes, and these guys need to move quickly. Village needs to move like he's doing something. All right. That'll be that. And yeah, my cav's gonna run away. Okay, towards the end. All right. Gibbs. Let me try something else, just so you all stop trying to go in different stupid places. All right, we'll see how long that takes. Yeah, it's probably all we can do. Speed it up. Oh, did my cav figure it out? Maybe. Maybe. What are you doing? Gibbs. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh, I wonder if he has to, you know, the core HQ should probably get a little bit closer to him. But yeah, the AI moves quickly here, so. All right. Again, with you guys, what on earth are you doing? What are you doing? You should be able to insta attack like that. Should be able to. My goodness, guys. there a CSA force up here? I don't know. Nope, that's stupid. Don't do that. All right, well, whatever. All right, Curtis's division, I'm pretty happy. That's pretty okay. And since the rest of the CSA moved off to fight my other two divisions, I'm okay with that as well. Somewhere here there is a artillery. There we go. Barry's artillery. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Shoot at them. Okay. In the absence of anything better to do, go shoot at them. Go shoot at them. Very good, very good. Oh no! Alright, a new threat arises. That's fine. Oh, they're all falling back. All right, that means that Curtis's division ought to move up here. And whoever gets there, gets there. Okay, Clean's Cav can go there. Curtis, or Hicks, I guess you can move up here because it looks like we've cleared everyone else out along the old Nashville stage road. Right, no need to friendly fire. What? What? It was probably an order I gave. It was almost certainly. But... I think we've done enough damage to the group over here. We'll continue cleaning up. Oh, Turchin's gonna be running soon. Huh, I'm not as far ahead as I thought I was. Alright, and this is just generally not going that great. Village. I mean, the idea with Village was to then bring him up here. Alright. It appears we've scattered most. So let's just get a defensive line here. And let's get Barry's artillery. Let's get that set up here and see what we can shoot. You know what? You know what? That was bad. Let's go there instead. Okay. Whoa! We'll just have these guys fall back. All right. This is also an early morning fight. It's not even 5 a.m. yet. yeah, one of the challenges on the campaign layer is getting the AI to attack together, to marshal its forces and to try to show up in battle together. And then in battle, it's less of an issue, but it is still an issue to get the AI to act in concert, but without blobbing up, where it reduces kind of the effect of its numbers. It doesn't use its numbers to full effect. Alright. I see what's going on here. At least for the very short term, we seem okay. Alright, you all have your orders. That's fine. Nelson, we can start moving your artillery. I think we'd move it there. That's fine. Yeah, you can actually just move right over there because that's where everybody's going to go. And you can order your artillery right back here. And that'll be that. I don't know where the rest of their force is. Oh, I see some of them now. Huh. Okay, I guess that answers that. All right. I guess McCook was going to find out the hard way very soon. Gotcha. All right. I think even if two divisions weren't going to show up, I think we still would have carried that one. We'll wait for the newspapers to get the truth of it, but that seemed pretty good. But it also seemed like it was going to go on the map. I guess there weren't any Crouching Tiger hidden divisions that were traveling up, so... yeah, that's good. If that was only one of those divisions, I wonder where the rest of them are. All right, what did we learn? So, 237 of them killed, 200 of us killed. So, yeah, I mean, even a 50-50 affair, even with the enlarged CSA that's made in this Empire of Oppression mod, we still have greater manpower in the north. So, that's all right. All right. Lossless scaling has a tendency to kick out when we move between battle and campaign layer, so we'll kick it back on to make it look as good as we can make it look, or at least as good as OBS will capture it, which is going to be 60 frames. In 1440 is still not bad, you know, so. All right, that's fine. And we'll Why is nothing moving? Yet again. Oh, so Pendleton's division, I'm certain was never engaged. I maybe they showed up to like be engaged and blah, 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 blah. So this is going to be over here, and this is going to be another classic. When our reinforcements get here, we'll end up with the majority. I guess before that, we still have 9,000 against at most 7,000. But maybe this will just be an episode with two battles on the smaller side. Skirmishes, right? Before the roads dry out and 62 really gets underway. But I wouldn't say that this is a speed run, but I am trying to see how quickly I can beat the South and the large South. And I think I mentioned this in the previous episode that yeah, if I do this one again for, you know, campaign or war number 20, I think I would put the CSA capital in Montgomery. It really wouldn't change too much of what I'm doing, but you know, with the Empire of Oppression, there'd be more territory and population. It's part of the CSA further south into the west, and so moving the capital south and west is not that ridiculous. But it's, you know, it's not real, so we can do that. All right, so this one they're saying I got to attack. I do. So I thought this was one of the random maps that I'm used to. I feel like I would have remembered a name Soggy Mountain, and so I did. Yeah, this is really high if I remember. Yeah, this is really high, and we end up in another map where you kind of end up. They're not corner. Well, they're kind of corner camped. All right, so HQ is on. My core HQ is on the wrong side, but that's okay. And it looks like one division. Is that right? One division? Yeah. One division's there. And we got to try to control those 2 points. We take that from them. And it should be pretty easy on. I think there's a stone wall here, if I remember this map. Yeah. So, I mean, naturally, you you would not want to try to have to cross here into a stone wall if you could avoid it. And right, it's backed up with stone wall, and of course, what do you get? You get open field, and then you get a choke point. So I'm probably still going to end up attacking it head on because I'm an idiot. But no, I think the smarter direction would be to come over here to Moses Ford. And actually, I don't have to take both. I could take Moses Ford, and then I could just use this. This is swamp. You can tell from the map, right? This is swampy, so it's not great to move in. The creek is a little bit, but if we just take that hill, and that is actually pretty, yeah, that's pretty steep. You can see it now. But we can come around this way. We can avoid the choke point, stone wall, attacking through an open field thing, and we can make them come to us, or we can win on victory points. So I think that's the way to do it. We're playing for time anyways. This is kind of nice as the attacker. I'm not expecting the AI here to full on rush me. All right, we know all that stuff. And I think we're ready to cook. Of course, you know, as much as we can. Judah the shooter. All right. There you go. I think that's all we need to do. And it's almost end of day. So there'll be a redeployment coming soon, and we'll try to deploy where we can. Yeah, that's pretty much the path I would have told you to take. So that's okay. And speed you up. Did I? I don't remember if I detached them. It doesn't really matter for right now. Or do we want to come over? Oh, come over. Yeah, we got to get over here anyways. All right. So maybe we get that started, and then we just try to keep pushing the cab up to that point. I guess I didn't detach the cavalry. Or the artillery. I guess neither of those things happen. Now we're just going to send you right here. And that's my reinforcements. And where did you appear? Okay, good. Well, yeah, good. Good. That's fine. Now we know we can really slow push. They don't have so many victory points, and they're not far ahead. And we know that they're not going to be far ahead on manpower in the end. That we feel like we have to rush into a battle that's not going to go well. One of the other mods, it really is an overhaul mod, and that I've made for this. And one of the other ones is that holding ground and victory points matters more. All right, we got it. Troops resupplied. It's not to the point where, and I did it because I felt like in vanilla you could hold the key ground and it really wouldn't matter that much. Why can't I move you? Well, it's the least important thing, so let's not worry about it too much. Oh, where did my cav go? Who was it that was here? Smith, I think. Oh, okay. I saw what they did to Pleasanton. There he is. He's right there. Who knows where his scouts went? Scattered, maybe. But let's detach the cav now. Let's detach the artillery now. I really did think I did this. All right, there we go. And we'll try that again. Scouts. Don't have them. Gibbon, just meet us there. And I think I can put you all safely on pause until there's a little bit more to show, but this is taking longer than I thought. All right, so we are moving along a little bit. You can see that they deployed forward of that point to try to hold it. Oh my goodness, you're an idiot. Pleasanton. I don't know how you did not just get wrecked there. But I really thought you were going to. Anyways, yeah, we'll recall the scouts at both those cav. But yeah, deploying forward here, and that actually told me a little bit about where they were, and they kind of deployed where I thought they might. So I'm going to send the 2 cav regiments I have. Yeah, bring those scouts with you. And we can get on the road back here. The infantry and the artillery are still going to try to concentrate here because it is open ground. So if they want to meet us on open ground, that's fine. It looks like they're going to give... I don't think it matters, right? I think that, artillery could still make use of those stone walls over there, even the hill up there, but I don't think that it's enough. If they bring their infantry into the open, then they've given up pretty much any advantage that they might have had, and so that'd be a mistake. But yeah, we're moving along. I'm guessing they're going to try to form up here, and if they want to battle in the open field, it's not how I would do it, right? They could have the interior lines here. If I'm going to go around, they could just kind of, the ground is so strong they could probably pull up a position on either side and they would be just fine. But they're not electing to do that. So we got a little bit more forming up we got to do, and then I can bring you back in and hopefully end this one with a bang. All right, so we are all just about here. Smith's division in particular seems like they're ready to rock. So my goodness, I could never get Pleasanton. It's actually fine. I'll just order them up by brigade. So we'll put Morrill up there. Yeah, that's fine. Hayes can advance as well. That's fine. Unfortunately, my 2 cav regiments, I still didn't really correctly estimate how much time they would need. So they've sent over a group to interdict us. But, if we can pull them apart or distract them while our main force gets ready, that's also an acceptable use. So Smith's over there. So then the HQ's on the wrong side, but I was trying to get him a little bit closer to his cav. Reynolds is going to be over there. All right. So Williams' artillery we don't need back there. We need that up here. And they can just do the best they can there. Which I don't think is much. And then Judah's guns. I don't know. Maybe we can put them here, but I don't think we're going to rely too much on artillery in this one. I think we're just going to almost as always, just do the infantry and cavalry thing, and you know, artillery can be there for the ambiance of artillery, but in a Civil War battle. But why is this all weird? All right, looks like they're sending 3 regiments over, like pretty thick regiments too. We do have a rate of fire advantage. We do have loose formation, which is, I've nerfed it down so it's not as significant as it is in vanilla, but it's, you know, still an advantage. But I believe there might be a force over here that crossed over there earlier. We'll take the fight that we have. We'll look at that for a little bit. I mean, the original plan was the cav was to keep them set back far enough that they wouldn't draw attention, and then they would come in maybe once the front line was engaged and focused elsewhere. I think one thing the AI has done well over here is you can see that they have a line of skirmishers out. I think whether on the attack or on the defense, I think it makes sense to advance behind a screen of skirmishers. Alright, and so now the boys got an angle. I mean, if we're getting focused down too hard, we'll just lay down. Hopefully we can still return fire. It looks like we can, but we'll just take fewer casualties in the process. And you can see our Kev's putting a hurt on him, but yikes. I guess they're casualties, which I feel like 21 casualties in a group that had over 300 is not that crazy. Alright, they've been beat back. Stevens is going to get it. Smith, if he's over here, he should help. But he's not going to, and so I think we want to move Pleasanton up so that we can get close range and we can get more effective shooting. And maybe there isn't anyone over here. I might have just whiffed on that. Alright, overall change is now positive, and so that'll stabilize. I guess I could have just click attacked these guys forward. Yeah, it'd probably have the same effect, but that did not go well for them. I don't think we need Mansfield over here. I think it's too far. We have the cab that's pretty much cutting off that corner. If they keep sending troops into it, they're going to pay a price, right? But these guys should be getting great enfilade shots. And 450 dudes who kind of know what they're doing with good leadership. I think they're doing just fine. But I think we want to also try to advance up. Alright. Stevens didn't like what he was getting. That I get. And I think throwing Smith in now is throwing him to the wolves, because I think he's going to get 2v1'd. And they're now sending everything over here. So what needs to happen from Reynolds? So we actually need a fairly... Ellsworth, we need you up here. Mansfield, we need you up here. And Baker, we need you up here. Morel, I don't know if you see anything over there. But we need them moving up. Alright, we'll advance Morel. He's got his skirmishers up. We'll just advance up here to see if we can see anything over here. And if not, then we'll just kind of follow the, whatever this is, the Soggy River down. Alright. That was fine. I think honestly we can just lay down with these guys. Well, oh, this is Pleasanton, this is DeCourcy. Alright. Alright. We'll get a little bit better here. Yeah, and if I felt I had time, I would have thrown out skirmishers and advanced behind them, but I don't want to, you know, live up to my kill cavalry self-proclaimed reputation. So, all right, over here, I think we can still throw skirmishers out. They should give us a little bit more line of sight as to what's happening. And if they also don't see anything, I think we're just going to start advancing towards the point. Yeah. So not seeing anything, we'll start moving them down there. And again, having my rapid firing cav shooting into skirmishers is so much less bad for them than having their thick lines kind of stand up there and just get outshot. Alright, so Baker's really far away from his guys. I guess he's closing in now, but... bring DeCourcy up for support. I think Halstead was getting hit by artillery for a while. I think that's part of the reason they are like they are. Alright, Judah's guns are firing there. That's good news. Looks like Morrill is seeing there's no one here. We're probably behind only because of victory tickets. Which, you know, if they lose the battle, it's kind of like, well, what were the point of those? Who they were shooting at. Looks like they've put a force. I don't they actually deployed them here, which is... I guess they're moving up to try to defend or support this, but... I'm gonna send these skirms across, but if there's no one over here, I'm just gonna go up and take that 5-pointer. Yeah, I think it's safe to just go up and claim this thing, so if they're gonna walk away from it, we'll certainly take it. And Hayes' brigade is in position, so we're gonna send them across and try to cut off the way out. Mansfield's brigade can kick out some skirmishers. About ready to send them in. Let the cavalry take a break. They've probably shot everything they have. Pick up our skirmishers, I guess. If they're not going to move up in advance, we'll pick them up with us. Ellsworth can do the same. And we'll take our skirmishers with us. They'll figure it out eventually. I mean, I did tell them to charge if they had to. I didn't really think that they would, but... Alright, now they got to come to us on one flank or another. I think we'll probably move Judah's guns over here. Okay. Alright, that's fine. So the charge by Hayes group doesn't look like they took too many casualties. Probably fewer than they would have in a prolonged shootout with those guys. So I guess that's fine and makes sense. And, yeah. Good. Alright, we now learn, what, they took 192 killed, we took 44 killed, so, I mean, it's a relatively small engagement, but it's another one that we won. So you're not going to hear me complain too much about a win. So I really do wonder what the situation is up north here. Here, we'll actually try to hit play and have things go through a bit. Projects, I don't think I've looked at this episode. So we need a little bit more for Farm Mech. That's a good one. Civil Order early on in the war is still a pretty good one. Improved credit rating is tough to do. We get to do it once. We might get to do it one more time. If this ends up... This looks like it might be a quick campaign. I know, famous last words, but I think it might be. So yeah, we probably only get one more take of that. On policy, I forget what the heck we were doing. Did Bank Act 1... Oh, I did... Okay, so we're on Revenue Act 1. It'll chip away at our support, which actually is not that much better. It is better. I mean, morale's better. Support is better. I think that they've had to dig deeper into their reserves than... Or dig deeper into their finance policies that tend to sap support. Because we've been pressuring them, so... Hey, McDowell arrives, and he looks like he's ready to move. Man, it has just been... Maybe it was the rains or something. I don't know what was going on here, but... Cox Jr.'s back here. I'll order him up. He looks pretty ready to go. Sanford's division looks like they could use some supplies, so we might as well at least move on. And perhaps McDowell, Cox, and Sanford... Together with McClellan's corps, it's basically 2 corps that we're throwing against Richmond. We'll see if that's enough in total to put that back under federal authority. Burns's division, all right, they're still doing their thing. Abbott's trying to get there. Yeah, others are all trying to get there. I get it. Well, I think maybe that's just where we ended then. It looks like the armies around Nashville have not been able to coordinate, right? We knew about that earlier. Out here in almost the middle of Missouri, we fended off that threat, and now we're bringing the threat to Richmond. Oh, no. McDowell, we want you out of scouting. You had to do it back in D.C., but you don't have to do it here. All right, folks, I'm going to leave it there. I think we know where the next battle is and what the next episode is going to have for us. So let's go ahead and get there together. But in the next one, I hope you enjoyed this one, and hope to have you back for more.